Hi friends, Naturalist Cathy here from West Bloomfield Parks. It's springtime and that means it's time for baby animals, and an animal that is so popular this time of year are bunnies. Now, as a naturalist or nature teacher, I know a little bit about a lot of different things. So to help us learn more about rabbits is Jennifer Dahn. Hi Jen.
Hi, Kathy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. And who do you have with you?
This is my son's bunny rabbit named River.
Okay,
One of his
now you got into having rabbits as pets when your family joined 4-H, correct?
is correct.
Now, what is 4-H and how long have you been involved in it?
4-H is a program for youth. They learn a lot about animals, different things. They show products. They usually show at the county fair and state shows. They can also go to some national shows. Uh, we got involved with friends who got us hooked on the program. My oldest first started showing swine, and my youngest started showing rabbits. Those were the first two animals they showed. Now we're up to swine, poultry, dairy, rabbits, ducks, dogs. So they really enjoy the animals and the aspect of that. But 4-H also teaches a lot about life skills, and that's what I love about the program. It teaches my kids responsibility, how to forms, how to interact with adults and judges, and making friends. It's just a really super great program all the way around.
Awesome. Now, River there does not look like the rabbits that I see out in the wild around here. So, what rabbits do we have here in Michigan and what do you have there?
Well, and again, we have most famous is the cottontail that we see around here, and I'm sure you see down by you as well. And we have the snowshoe hares in Michigan. Domestic rabbits are so many different breeds of domestic and rabbits that you get. This one happens to be a Champagne DR.
Now, how many different breeds of rabbit are there?
Well, in the rabbit world, we have what's called ARBA, which stands for American Rabbit Breeders Association, and they recognize 40 different 49 different breeds of rabbits right now.
Okay, so the cottontail, it can jump 3 feet high and have a distance of about 10 feet. Now, and it can also run about 18 miles per hour. Now, that's not nearly as fast as the antelope jackrabbit, which is in southern Arizona, which is 45 miles an hour. How do your rabbits compare to them?
Well, my rabbits, I don't generally like to hop away from me. 'Cause I like to keep them pretty stable, and we teach them to sit calmly. But the world record for a domesticated rabbit to jump is almost 10 feet. Now, the cool thing about domesticated rabbits is that you can teach them to run agility courses, much like what a dog would run, but on a smaller bunny scale.
Aw, that would be cute to see a little bunny agility course. Now, the eastern cottontail and river there have ears that stand up, but I've seen some that have ears that are drooping. Like, why is that? What do the different ears mean?
Well, it's basically got to do with the breed and what that breed is supposed to look like. This one obviously has straight up ears. Your floppy eared rabbits are known as lop eared, like the French lop or the fuzzy lop. And it's got to do with the cartilage that's in their ears. This rabbit, the cartilage is made to help stand the rabbit's ears up, whereas with your floppy eared rabbits, the cartilage doesn't work that way. It doesn't support that type of ear.
Okay. Now, cottontails want their ears to stand up. That way they can hear if there's predators around them. That's why most wild rabbits don't have the floppy ears. Now, why do some people have rabbits as pets?
Well, they're cute, they're fuzzy, they're soft. A lot of my friends, we have rabbits because we show them. We actually take them to shows, much like a dog show. Uh, and we get them judged.
Now, when you're showing rabbits, what does the judge look for to declare a winner?
Well, that's a good question, and pretty similar to the dog shows. There is this book that is called Book of Standards, and inside this book is a description of every single rabbit breed that's recognized by ARBA. And basically that description is what the perfect rabbit should look like for that breed. And it talks about what their head shape should be, how long their ears should be, their eye color, what their body shape should be, nice and rounded depending on the breed. And the judge will look at each rabbit and determine which rabbit is the closest to that standard in that book.
Okay, now is something that they're looking for the color of their fur, and how many different colors are there?
Well, in the rabbit world, color is referred to as variety. This one is a Champagne d'Argent, and she has 7 different varieties. Some rabbits, like the mini Rex, have up to 17 different varieties, and some rabbits only have 1 variety, which is like your Californian. It only comes in 1 color. I have also down here with me some little Polish rabbits, and they in 6 varieties.
Okay.
Let me put her. So here, if you can see, I'll lift them up a little. I have the one on my left is what we call a broken. It's white with brown spots. Broken can also be white with black spots. The one in the middle is called chocolate, and this one is on the right is black. Polish rabbits also come in white with red eyes, white with blue eyes. Trying to think of the other color. And one color called blue. So that would be the 6 colors. And blue is actually more of a grayish color with a bluish hint.
So lots of different colors.
Yeah, throughout all the breeds, there are many different colors.
Now, I know what a bunny is, and I know what a butterfly insect is, but apparently you can have a butterfly bunny?
Well, butterfly refers to the markings on a broken colored rabbit. So right here, you can see the nose. That is the part that's referred to as a butterfly.
Okay. Now, what do you feed your bunnies, and what would wild bunnies eat?
Well, wild bunnies are going to eat grass and clover, vegetables when they can get into your garden. They're going to also eat in the wintertime twigs and bark off of trees to help give them nutrition. My rabbits are pretty spoiled. They get, which you can buy at any local pet store or Walmart's or Meijer's or any farm supply store, little pellets. And everything that they need for nutrition is right inside them little pellets. I also like to give my rabbits Timothy hay. It's a great source of fiber for them. Those 2 things are the best that you can give your rabbit. I do on occasion give them treats, and treats can be anything from green leafy vegetables, never iceberg lettuce. Iceberg has way too much water in it, and it won't kill them, but it can make them kind of sick. Carrots is kind of a no-no, despite that it's played up to be the best thing from Bugs Bunny. Carrots are actually very high in sugar, and naturally, rabbits don't normally eat rooted vegetables. I also like to give bananas, yogurt, sunflower seeds, and their favorite oats, and any oats from the local grocery store will work. This container will last a very long time because you only give a little bit at a time and every few days.
Now, what do you call a male and a female rabbit?
A female is called a doe and a male is called a buck, just like your deer.
Now, can that doe lay eggs?
No, Kathy, rabbits don't lay eggs. They have live babies, and their babies are born hairless and with their eyes closed. So about 7 days is when the hair starts to come in, and about 10 days is when their eyes start to open.
And what do you call those baby bunnies?
Baby bunnies are called kits.
Okay. Now, after the babies are born, after she has a litter, how much water does it take for the mom and the babies per day?
Water is very important to rabbits, and on average, a mother rabbit and a litter of kits can drink up to a gallon of water a day.
Now, here in Michigan, we have the different seasons. So how do you take care of your rabbits through the year?
Rabbits, Michigan is a great place to have pet rabbits because we do have a lot of the cooler temperatures. Comfort zone for a rabbit is 60 to 65 degrees. So they do much better in your cooler temperatures. When it gets too hot, they can get heat stroke. So the best is to make sure if you have a domestic rabbit for a pet is to keep them in a well-ventilated area and also offer cooling devices such as a fan. One of my favorites is a water bottle, just your standard water bottle, freeze it and throw that in the cage with them. They'll snuggle right up to it. Another one of my favorites is your basic ceramic floor tile that you can get at any hardware store. Freeze them, put them in the cage, and they'll lay on top of them. Now, if you notice a rabbit starting to suffer from heat stroke, they lose their heat through their ears. That's why they don't have much fur on them. So take cool water in your fingertips and rub their ears, and that helps to cool a rabbit off. In the wintertime, despite our snow and all that, winter rabbits do very good up from 20 degrees up to 60 degrees. So the winter's not too bad on them here. It is best to make sure they have good ventilation, but you want to keep them sheltered from direct contact to rain and snow and cold winds. I like to cover my cages that are outside with a lightweight tarp at night, or if I know a storm's coming, I cover them up. But I make sure I uncover them on the good days too.
Now, I see that you have those three bunnies together. So are bunnies social animals?
Not generally. I would never put them in a cage outside, and I would never leave them together unattended. But these ones get used to being around other rabbits from going to shows. Generally, if you have litter mates, obviously you want to keep boys with boys and girls with girls, they can do all right together as long as they've always been together. If you pull them apart and then for a few days and then try to put them back together, it really doesn't work out. They start to fight. So all of my rabbits, once they get to be a certain age, generally about 10 to 12 weeks, I move them into their own cages.
Now, is keeping rabbits something easy? Is it a lot of work?
One rabbit is very easy. Having many rabbits can get to be quite a bit of work. I currently have 14 rabbits, but I know people who have up to 80 to 100 rabbits. So keeping their cages clean is very important. Lots of fresh water is important, and food, pellets and Timothy hay make great sources of nutrition for these rabbits. Keeping an eye on them, making sure that they're not getting sick is important as well. If you notice changes in your rabbit's behavior, if they develop diarrhea, if they develop constipation, if they're not eating, you're going to want to check into that. The best thing to do if you think a rabbit's not feeling well is to quarantine its cage away from all the other rabbits' cages. Some rabbits have contagious diseases and you don't want that spreading to all your rabbits. I found that the best knowledge to try and help a sick rabbit is a 4-H leader or a rabbit breeder. Most vets specialize in dogs and cats, whereas rabbits are considered domestic animals. So it gets pricey to take a rabbit to the vet on one hand, and their knowledge I find knowledge coming from the breeder who's with rabbits all the time. They have a little bit more tips and tricks to give you to help your rabbit get better.
Now, it is springtime, and that means we are starting to see baby animals being born soon. So what should you do if you find a wild baby rabbit outside?
Leave it alone. Let nature take care of nature. Um, Rabbits, moms will leave their babies for many hours at a time and only come back to feed them once or twice a day. Um, so they don't like to be messed. And a mom can tell if something's messed with the baby, and then you run the risk of her then leaving them and not coming back to them if you mess with them. Domestic bunnies are a little bit different. They're used to me. They're used to my scent. I jump right into their nesting boxes as soon as they're born and make sure they're all okay. But wild rabbits, that's nature. You just got to let nature be.
Yes, and if you do think a wild animal is in trouble, then the best thing for you to do, if you're really concerned about it, is to call your local rehabilitator. And you can find numbers for those rehabilitators at the Michigan DNR website. And that's the same for any wild animal, not just bunnies. So, do you have any other friends with you that we can see, Jen?
I have one more bunny down here. And she's the newest addition to our family. And I purchased her through an auction. And the reason I purchased her is because on her papers, she is actually this one's great-great-granddaughter. So I had sold her his granddaughter, and they turned around and had one of the babies from that one in an auction. So I got her back to have her be back home with where she came from originally. So I've got this one's a dad. This one is a granddaughter to this one. And then this one is a great-great-granddaughter.
Big
And
family.
Yep, rabbits is a fun business to be in.
Well, thank you for sharing with us today and sharing your rabbits. We definitely appreciate it. So, friends, if you want to stay up to date on all of the stuff that's going on at West Bloomfield Parks, check out wbparks.org. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, bunny friends. So, hop out there and enjoy some nature. Bye.
Bye.